friends, thank you for tuning in and welcome back. So I made a conscious choice not to drink anymore, so I'll be having some tea. I don't drink any alcohol anymore and I'm happy about it. So I'm drinking ginger tea and that's my drink for the day. So today's story, abortions. Let's just jump right in because Hi Wimby. I had my first abortion in 2011. Yes, you heard that right. First, I was in what I thought was a loving relationship with my boyfriend. We would go on to be in a relationship for 8 years. I know, right? What the hell was I thinking? We met my first year of college in 2010 and he swept me off my feet. First boyfriend and all. I was second year of college. Just after Christmas, I noticed I hadn't gotten my period. Call it whatever, but I knew I was pregnant. When I told him, his instant reply was, we could not have a child. We were still young. How are we going to take care of a child? I remember I cried for being so stupid and careless. As you know, abortion is illegal in Zimbabwe. So what followed next was like a COVID operation. He said he had a friend in Harare who could help, so we had to get up early and catch a ride to Harare. Go get the abortion done and come back to Gweru where we were in college. It was possibly the worst experience of my life. I was scared. The abortion was painful and terrifying. Naked and cold on that sketchy bed, with cold instruments going up my hoo-ha. I cried and the guy doing the procedure kept shushing me and saying nyarar. It was terrible. And I rode back alone that day because he had to see his parents. Up to this day, I wonder why I stayed with him. After about 3 months, I got pregnant again. And as you can guess, I had another abortion. But this one still gives me nightmares because when I got to abort it, the fetus had grown. We went back to Harare, but I started having immense pain after I had gotten back to my hostel. This was definitely the worst 6 or so hours of my life. The pain was unbearable. I felt like I was being ripped apart. I thought I was going to die that day. When the fetus finally came out, I cried. I could see everything, the tiny hands, the head, the feet. I couldn't help but think I had killed an innocent soul. I cried for weeks. I would have dreams about it, and I remember I spent about a year not eating chicken because something about the skin just reminded me about my baby. I thought for sure I would never let anything like this happen again. And I broke up with my boyfriend. But then I fell back into him like a bad habit. And 2 years later, I was pregnant again. This one I thought I would keep, but I was at a point in my life that I realized this guy wasn't worth anything. And we weren't going to build anything. So I went ahead with the abortion, and that was that. Honestly, this last time I didn't care. We eventually broke up, but now I am in a committed relationship. Do I tell this guy? Will I ever be able to have kids? Mind you, these abortions weren't completely safe. I am a mess when I think about it. I feel so ashamed and guilty sometimes. Okay. This is a hard story. This story, I would say a lot of young girls have gone through it. And like you mentioned, abortion is illegal in Zimbabwe. That means people have to resort to very dangerous abortion methods because it's illegal. So if you get caught, you go to jail. And I blame the system for this because an abortion shouldn't be illegal because it's your choice at the end of the day. It's your body. You have to decide what you want to do. They cannot control what you do with your body. But anyway, it's like this. And I realized this was a three traumatic experiences for you, which you never got to work out in therapy or in a group filled with people who also went through the same thing you went through. So writing it, I suppose, was a way of letting it go. It was a healing moment for you. I really believe if you write things down, you get to work through them. And yeah. So let me just talk to you for a minute. Don't be a slave to your past. Because you asked me, will I ever be able to have kids? Of course you'll be able to have kids. You were pregnant 3 times, and just because you had abortions doesn't automatically mean you can have kids. And you are in a committed relationship now, and you want to know if you tell this guy. First, I would say you have to work on yourself, because once you know who you are, where you stand with yourself, then you can be able to make a decision if you want to tell this person you're with or not. But if it was me personally, I would tell the person, because starting a relationship with omitted lie gives you anxiety, because what happens is, if you then are trying to have a kid and it's not happening the first month, the second month, you start going into your head, maybe it's because of the abortions, maybe I did something wrong, maybe things are not working anymore in my body the way things are supposed to work. So it will only give you anxiety. So I believe if a person really loves you and you're honest with them and say, hey, I was stupid, I was young, dumb, and I made mistakes. He probably made mistakes of his own. So I think honesty is always the best way, because if you're honest to someone and they don't accept you, that's their problem. But you know you have been honest. You won't have to think about it all the time. Oh, I didn't tell him this, I didn't tell them, maybe this is why this is not working, you know. So don't put yourself in that kind of situation. And like I said, don't be a slave to the past. Don't carry your pain. I wrote some notes. Don't carry your pain as a badge, because what that will do is you become that person who is always in pain, who is not able to move forward because pain holds you back. You know, you can't experience life living in the past, right? You get what I'm trying to say? I hope I'm explaining it well. And you know, sometimes when something bad happens to us or hurts us, we can choose to become wise, or we can choose to become wounded. And I know a lot of people choose to become wounded because it's the easier route, I would say. Because for the people who know me, they know me. If I'm in a situation where I'm not happy, being treated unwell or unfairly or whatever it is, I'm just not happy. It's not with my vibrations, you know, I let it go. And very fast. I do not look back, because I choose to be wise to the situation. I choose to learn from that situation and grow from that. Because if you choose to always be that person who is in pain, he did this to me, he did that to me, you're giving that person a power over you that, you know, you shouldn't have. So choose to be wiser and say, okay, I learned the hard way, but things happen in life. We all make mistakes, and choose to be happy, choose to live. Because, wait, I wrote something very interesting here. Yeah, life is just a certain amount of time. So where is the time to carry every experience as a wound? Do you understand? Because now it's, when I'm reading this, it's 12:37, and that was it. That for today, that was it. It's not going to come back. So it's already in the past. It's gone. So the moment you're always living in the past and thinking, oh, you did this to me, you're living there, you know. You won't win this psychological war. So you don't have the time. The moment you realize you do not have the time for sadness, for any nonsense, anything that brings you down, any negative thing that brings you down, the moment you realize you do not have time for it, you see, life is just a joy. It will work for you. Like, hey, where have you been the whole? Yeah, you know. I mean, because you really do not have the time. The moment you're born, you're already dying. Do you understand? Because it's not like you're just going to, today you are just dying. The moment you're born, you're already in the process of dying, because everyone dies at a certain time. No matter if you're a baby in your teen years, if you're old, you're just going to die. So you do not have the time to dwell on negative stuff. You can only live in the present, in the now, today, because you never see this day again. And I listen a lot to Sadhguru. You can look at his channel on YouTube. He said, you cannot suffer the past or the future because they do not exist. What you're suffering is your memory and your imagination. You know why he said that? Because the past is only your memory. the brain, sometimes the brain will, your intelligence will work against you. So the past is your memory. Of course, we think about this. These are things which happen to us, and it can be traumatic sometimes, but you can also choose to say, hey, it happened, and I'm going to move on. You have the strength to do that, because otherwise, hey, your life, you'll be living a life where you're only doubting yourself, and that's not a way to live. And your imagination is when you think about the future. When you think, what if I don't do this? What if I lose my job? What if I buy this and this happens? What if? You're living in a what if. You don't even know. Maybe tomorrow you're dead. When we sleep, when we wake up, it's a gift. That's why we are thankful every morning and saying, thank you, Lord, for this day, because it's a gift. It's not guaranteed that you're waking up tomorrow. So why are you making plans for tomorrow? Do you catch my drift? I know sometimes people do not understand why I'm like this, why I move on certain situations very quickly, because I protect my energy, I protect myself, my mind, everything about me I have to protect, because it's this one life that I have now. Even if I die and go into another body someday, but today I'm Rubimbo and this is my life, so I live it the way I want to. Of course, I've had bad experiences in the past, but I'm a person who chooses to move on, because I really believe life is what you make it. You can either make your life a living hell or a heaven, because it's your choice. The moment where you choose to only think about the past, you're making your own hell. The moment you choose to say, hey, this is the only life I have, I'm going to be happy, I choose to be loved, I choose to love, I choose all the good things in life, then you're in heaven. So please, if you went through this, you went through abortions, I know you said you feel ashamed and guilty sometimes, don't give it the time of day. It might sound like wow, this chick does not have any emotion or something like, but don't choose to give that time at all. It happened, you cannot change it, so why think about it all the time? And please do not feel ashamed or guilty. This is life. Bad things will happen, but choose those moments where you are really down to build yourself up and say, you know what, I went through this, I survived, I'm strong, I can be anything I want, I can live this life to the fullest. Okay, so if you went through this, if you're going through this, just know, I'm not going to say one day it will get better, because which day are you going to choose? I'm saying, please choose now to let it go, to be happy, to experience life, just live, because I do not think this boyfriend of yours sits there and thinks, those years what I did, you were the only one torturing yourself, girl. So make a decision today to let it go. It doesn't serve you anymore, so it should bye-bye. Okay, and with that and my tea, you see, when I stopped alcohol, it's like my mind just opened up to new dimensions. So I will see you next week, and thank you for tuning in. Goodbye.